and I go, because all the stuff they're gave me bleeding ulcer.
We did a lot of things differently. I mean, look, he's been beginning to really find like the quiet, slow.
Want me to call it quits right now?
Was it
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah, that's what.
I'm just, I mean, this,
Good mood about it yet.
well, I mean,
And then she didn't even go on the water slide.
Yeah, I think.
I said, yeah.
that's what we had from the.
I still haven't found that.
So,
Pillow pad.
It'll show up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't need it. Everything was going pretty. No idea.
I go, yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Mike Holt is not going to be here.
Oh, well.
Did
Well-
you see that?
So you
Mike
got-
Holt?
yeah,
He just-
Yes, I do.
there has been tension.
Yeah.
between those two.
Track the acronyms.
You know what I mean? It just boiled over.
We're building house.
But the schools are not gonna go out of business. I mean, the schools are not guaranteed getting the money on a certain date.
That's.
The state doesn't do that to you either.
It's like the first couple
Yeah.
months I was.
I mean, years ago, the regional office distributed the money to school.
I love
Yeah.
There was times they didn't have enough funds to pay for pay a state aid. They just didn't pay it.
Church meetings. Well, that's happened.
Oh, yeah.
Did
They
you
did
deliver that?
create it.
Yes.
Yes.
It's what I'm saying is,
I started.
I don't think it was a crisis for.
And UCCI has
You know.
one too, but you almost
just seemed
have
like
to
a-
constantly go back in there and review what's really used, because there's a lot of them that are on the list.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
one time the state gave us a distribution that was wrong. They made a computer.
Because when
And we sent the money out to schools. We made an error. Now you gotta get the money back. And that was a hell of a mess.
Oh, yeah.
So you don't want to make a distribution
It's on our.
unless you're really sure.
I never should do it.
No.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We'll never sell it.
Yeah.
My family would disown me. if I said that. But I would just, I hate myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
I should have built it for 5 years and sold it for triple,
There you go.
but nope.
I don't know either, but it seemed like they were both.
She figures 30.
I saw Angie.
That's not-
involved and they lived it, but that's it.
Yeah. Weight loss drug.
And these
I have to tell you, go to Wisconsin Dells, I think it should be 60.
They called John.
It's probably never.
Yeah, we still
Yeah.
got it because gravel, you can always.
This isn't running again. Because she told me because of all the game. You know.
Yeah.
See, there's somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's good choices.
It is. You want every day.
Yeah.
Five, 7.
But is there
Yeah.
is a
I don't know which one.
huge difference in.
I believe she works in treasurer's office.
Oh, yeah.
I can't like she running as.
No, John said, isn't that what
Tony Blinshaw's
Yeah.
always does, is, yeah, just buy food every day. Refrigerators. Okay,
Those have been.
Yeah. Yeah.
forever. I don't know.
One that's running-
Just.
Yeah.
The ones running
We're
with
just so
husband is the one that might.
but this
They also.
picture of
This is from Elizabeth.
husband's relatives in Wisconsin.
No.
What's, what, you changing your mind now? Okay.
Everything involved is so involved.
And they are like this. You have no sympathy.
Yeah. No, we don't.
Two of them are nurses.
I think he was a smart enough guy.
Well, he was, he was the smartest guy, but, still, even so young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
You
In-
have to depend on the rest of the staff stand there.
Instead of-
The rest of the staff walks out the door, you're in.
It's good, the difference. Or if I miss.
Papers home that Ed bring. Forgot to bring some papers that
Oh,
had some notes for the day.
Oh.
Oh, I'll have to wing it.
You know,
Maybe even like a cheat sheet. Once you write it down, you already know.
do you, and when you write it down, then tell you your brain.
Well,
you forget it.
Well, I don't have any problem putting it on the ballot.
Give everyone 3%.
Yes, but not after we.
Decide what they want to do, but To me, to me, it's never gonna, it's never gonna be a statewide. It's gonna send possibly a message to some of the people that we're not. Yeah.
They've been doing it since 2010. They've been trying. Hasn't sent the message at all. I think it's a few times.
Yeah. Well, the
If
weather.
there's a protest to be made, then I think there should be an actual plan to address rural Illinois falling or feeling like they're being left behind. Saying that you want to leave is
Very, very.
Sorry. Really? Because there is no legal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chambers coming together. going to
Just-
US Congress.
I did remember one of them. Number 8.
Just,
Those
Oh.
Virginia-
Oh, it's spelled wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's about to happen.
Yeah, yeah.
It's-
I
it's-
have a hard time taking
Yeah,
things.
there is no.
Only when you haven't.
Yeah.
Check.
Ditto.
Yeah, but you know, come on.
I'm sorry about that.
90.
I lose my passion for whatever their point was.
Yeah. Well, I actually have questions. How?
I think it should at least.
I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm going to forward them.
I don't know what Illinois feels left behind because just saying you're gonna leave. I don't think it's gonna do anything. Because most people are gonna vote.
I suppose I'd be more excited about the idea if I thought it was a possibility.
Or
Yeah, This is.
Facebook page, they say a lot of this may happen or this could
I
happen.
know there's some counties along the Indiana border have petitioned to be again to Indiana.
Yeah. I live next to Indiana. You know, I'm living in.
It almost feels.
Well, it could be worse. There's a
I
ballot initiative in Oregon
advocating.
to allow hunting, fishing, pest control people,
It was kind of like a.
and most of animal husbandry farming.
Trying to,
They got enough petitions, signatures on a petition to get it on the ballot.
it's not really gonna happen.
Then I think
was
that
very
that
involved
needs
in
to
the
be part of
70s and
the thing. Like
For
the
that
referendum
majoring
should be, should we leave because we feel left
Knowing that
behind
it's never actually
by
happened. But then also.
upstate? Like, should we leave because we rule Illinois? feels left
Was
behind?
made.
What scares me is
The only
Right.
geographic separation.
Hey, what's
How would they get?
Well, no, it's
So
like
I, you know,
yeah,
I've been following this kind of
it's
stuff.
whatever
Well,
counties end up
and then,
voting for the.
I went up and met Rennie
The
Platt,
US Congress.
in Quebec when he was
Hail Mary, but it
testifying.
was one.
you can't even get Puerto Rico.
Submitted a question.
Gazed into his eyes.
No, I mean, not, no, I mean, I
Oh, yeah.
like behind, but no.
Any
Yep.
plan
The
or
crystal ball.
budgeting? or-
No, the person I have a
I did that.
girl doors
Yeah.
her good one. I can't believe it. Just
She's quite tired.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent historian.
Oh,
You think this would pass before that?
You know, to speak.
Yeah, so-
I would be.
Whatever else happened that night, I'm canceling.
Oh, yeah,
It
yeah.
could come
Well,
on
I'm
September.
I'm thinking of one for the books, but I'm thinking of bringing one.
Look at me, look at me.
Yeah.
It's not fair. But then they'll say,
I watch her.
wait a minute,
Hopefully doesn't autograph it like I
you're not
did.
paying
with
as much as
56
me,
and
so you don't deserve
Jerry.
like public service schools and charter schools.
Autographing.
Yeah. She's getting up there.
I-
She's.
Yeah.
80s probably.
I read through that whole thing.
Which doesn't sound as old as it once did.
Oh, no, it's very young. It's
Very-
very, yeah,
I
that's true.
That's like- it's like my school.
Yeah. Like, I hope somebody figured it out. I hope somebody's- somebody.
She can write her next book about.
Good evening, everybody. It is 6 PM. I'm going to call meeting to order.
And she has like 15.
We could have a roll call, please.
Allendorf. Present. Creighton.
Yes.
Lynn Gallagher.
Here.
Diane Gallagher.
President,
Grisaffi. Holt. Schultz.
Present.
Trost.
President.
Lang.
President.
You have a quorum.
You have in your packet the meeting minutes from the previous executive committee. If you've had an opportunity to review those, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
I will make a motion to approve the minutes of the June 1st, 2026 Executive Committee meeting.
I will second that.
Thank you, John. We have a motion made and seconded. Those in favor of approving the minutes as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, citizens' comments. Just FYI for everyone in the room here, before we do that, We have a guest coming that they are detained in some traffic and running a little behind. So I indicated that we would accommodate them at the end of the meeting. And that seemed satisfactory with her. So any citizens would like to make a remark?
I would, as a citizen, Dacia Bame. I'm saying this on behalf of Nicole Winter, the village president of Scales Mound. So it's just a short letter that she wanted me to read, and she emailed that to Angie as well, or should be. But I am writing to express my disappointment regarding the priorities recently demonstrated by the Joe Davis County Board. The county has shown that it is willing and able to enter into an intergovernmental agreement to support a parking ramp project in Galena. Yet when it comes to partnering with the Village of Scales Mound on an intergovernmental agreement for an emergency access road, we have been told that such cooperation is not possible. This inconsistency is difficult to understand. The proposed emergency access road is not a convenience project, it is a public safety project. If the existing access route to the north side of Scales Mound becomes blocked by a train accident or other emergency, first responders could be delayed in reaching residents. Those delays could have life-threatening consequences. The possibility of someone being unable to receive timely emergency medical care, fire protection, or law enforcement assistance should be a concern shared by every level of local government. The village has worked diligently to secure outside funding for this project, recognizing its importance to the safety of our residents. We have repeatedly sought partnership with the county because protecting the lives of our citizens should be a shared responsibility. When the county can find a path forward for an intergovernment agreement that supports economic development in one community but cannot or will not find a similar path for a project centered on public safety in another, it sends a troubling message about whose needs are considered a priority. I respectfully ask the county to reconsider its position and explain why an intergovernmental agreement is appropriate for one project but not for another that directly impacts emergency response and the safety of our residents. Every community in Joe Davis County deserves to know that public safety is valued equally. I hope the county board will demonstrate that commitment by working with the Village of Scales Mound to find a solution rather than another reason why it cannot be done. Respectfully, Nicole Winter.
Thank you. We have a comment.
Gerald Pedraza, Apple River, Illinois. I have in front of me a letter that Mr. Lang, County Board Member from District 3, submitted to William Meeker, Planning and Development Administrator. This is a response to that letter and to the meeting that was held in Hanover related to rental properties. A resolution should be included in the November ballot, defined like this. Joe Daviess County law enforcement agencies will issue a fine of $250 to the rental agency responsible for the occupant of any short-term rental property who is guilty of disorderly conduct, public nuisance, or disturbance of the peace. Thank you.
Thank you. Unfinished business. We have strategic goals, which at this point I think is largely FYI, and we are going to deal with some of our goals down in new business. And you also have in your packet this month's Freedom of Information Act requests. Is there any questions or concerns on any of those? Yes.
John, I just wondered if our IT department could take a look at any ways that AI might be used to facilitate and reduce the amount of staff time. I don't know if it's possible, but we just see over and over that it's hours and hours of staff time, and that might be considered a potential to look into.
I think anything that can eliminate the what I think all of us who agree are egregious staff hours used on this is a good use of Joe's time, probably. And I think if you directed that question to Mike Holt, would probably be the appropriate place to start with that and get his committee to look into that. and we can move on from there.
Thank you.
Anything else regarding FOIA? John Schultz.
Since I'm a numbers person, I did look at the amount of time that the sheriff's office spent on responding last month.
At a rate of,
It's essentially 3/4 of a week's time. Of one person.
that adds up over the course of a year, doesn't it? All right. Like I said, on to new business. Our item A is running late, so we are going to go to the Blackjack Connector traffic analysis, which we commissioned some time ago. And I think, get the right page here. The traffic study, if you've looked at it, came in far under what I anticipated. And I think this is probably just the nail in the coffin for the Blackjack Cutoff Road. It was going to be a very expensive project, no matter what. But given the traffic numbers that came back, I don't think we can remotely justify it. And given the poor traffic counts we see here, there's probably not going to be any grant money available, as that is all priority scored. So I have suggested we remove this item from the county priority list. Diane.
Well, I understand when we proceeded to have this study done, we wanted to move quickly, so we might have the data available for any kind of grants or anything. But taking the traffic counts on the 21st of February and the 25th of February, I think about how well does that compare to the 25th of June or July? And I can totally agree that those numbers didn't come to anywhere near what I would have thought. But
well, I will concede that I was shocked when I saw the numbers that came back. I concur with you that they probably picked a terrible time period to do the study, but we are stuck with the math in front of us. Mike Dittmer.
Angie was first.
Actually, that was a good time to do the study because the road was, for multiple reasons, but one of them being to alleviate Blackjack traffic going out to Chestnut, which February would be one of the busiest times. We were not aware that people were using Devil's Ladder coming from the city area to use Devil's Ladder to go to Chestnut and avoiding Galena altogether. And apparently, I don't know how the engineer figured that out, but I think that had a lot to do with the numbers being much more lower than what we thought they would be.
Via Hanover also gets a lot of traffic to Chestnut. I have a point on that. I want to encourage the gentleman who bought that property to pursue his ideas of developing it. I think it's a good idea to do some development there, but we're out of it at this point.
Mike.
I was going to say the same thing Angie said, and I'd like to double down on what John said. I think if we had an economic development program, I think Blackjack, something we could do a public-private partnership with, would be a great development. So.
Any other thoughts on this matter? Okay, I will make a motion then that we remove the Blackjack Road project from our goals and priorities list that we look at every month. Strategic goals.
I'll second that.
Schultz, second that. Those in favor of removing Blackjack Cutoff Road from our strategic goals, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Item C, discussion and possible action to recommend an intergovernmental agreement with the city of Galena for the purposes of building a parking ramp located at the address commonly known as 311 Bench Street. Angie, I believe this is an update of the agreement we made with them some time ago.
Correct. We have a MOU to explore the possibility. The city of Galena was looking to purchase another building to move their police station in. We were looking for any property around the courthouse to be able to secure additional parking. It's been a problem for a very long time. So this is now essentially an intergovernmental agreement to pursue collaborating with the city to build a parking ramp at this address. That's it. That's what it is.
John Schultz.
I do have one concern. After reading through it, it sounded like all the spaces would be metered. So that may not serve our customers so much if they have to pay to come to the courthouse.
I did speak to their attorney about that because I think there's a couple different schools of thought on whether or not we can do that. But they put it in there, but we would not have to do that. We could.
I would think we'd have some spaces at courthouse business and
that's
please that as needed.
That was the original intent. We said that if we had the upper deck, we would not charge from 8 to 4 Monday through Friday during business hours for anyone parking for courthouse parking.
Yeah, because the agreement, it doesn't say that. Everything is to be meter. And that the part of the goal was to provide more parking for employees also.
And I'm not really sure. I did mention it to their attorney. It was written the way it was as a catch-all, I guess, if we wanted to be able to. And there may be avenues if it were metered, and then I don't even want to suggest that we validate parking. But one thing that we will run into, there is no doubt that people will be using it even when they're not in the courthouse. So it may need to be something that we work through to figure out how do we, make sure people who are using it for the courthouse business are not paying. I don't know. It's something we would have to work through.
Lynn?
Do we have any idea how many parking spaces are going to be on each level?
25 to 30.
Okay.
Mike?
Thank you for letting me speak at this committee. First of all, this is, I was against the courthouse is one of the reasons why I ran for the county board. You guys know that. And the original cost of the courthouse was $12.5 million, which was paid for by 3.5 of AR, the Biden money, the America Rescue Act, and then a $9 million bond. Then it was approved at 15.5 million. So we used 3 million of reserves. And then I was on the board when it came in at $17.5 million with the soft costs, and it just shocked us all because no one knew that was coming. And I have it at 18.7, the total cost of the million. How much more money are we going to throw into this? It's a money pit. And the reason I bring it up is because I've been fighting since I've been on the board for economic development money. And I've been told a million times, we don't have the money. We don't have the money. But when it comes to the courthouse, we can find millions. So where's this money coming from? If we don't have money for economic development, where's this money coming from? Also, I remember asking when I was on the board right away, what are we going to do? This is a problem issue. And I was told by everybody, we don't have a problem. We don't have a parking issue. We don't have we don't have a customer parking issue. We have a employee parking issue. And one of the solutions was to have a parking lot somewhere else and have transit bring them there. Have we pursued that? What's that going to cost? Way cheaper than 2 point whatever million. Also, how this is not an MOU anymore. This is an intergovernmental agreement. So how ironclad is this? If it goes to 5 million, are we stuck at paying half at 2.5 million? Right now it's at 2.3. But if you look at the cost overrun of the courthouse, I have no faith that this won't go over the $2.3 million. So where's the cutoff at? When it gets too high where we say, sorry, we're not in anymore. That's not in this agreement. And then of course, what's the mayor of Scales Mountain's letter is, we were told that we can do this intergovernmental agreement, but we can't do one for housing and we can't do one to help mitigate Scales Mountain. We really need to find out for sure if we can do that. 1.15 million on parking or help us a tremendous safety issue, the railroad crossing. That's partly our fault because it's our road in Scales Mountain. There is no doubt where I believe we should spend this money. So I hope we're not ready to pass this tonight. I mean, we need to know even for sure what's legal because no one knows. So thank you for my time.
Well, I think a couple of things to address. I was on the board when this project was initiated, and I did vote against it. I made promises to people here at this table that after it passed, I would not be difficult about it, and I think I've kept my word. Part of our job is to deal with where we are, not with where we want to be. The matter of the intergovernmental agreements, I did submit a question to Angie, and Angie had LaDon approve it, and it has been submitted to the Illinois County Councils or whoever for a opinion. So that's done.
Will I be allowed to do that too?
No,
Why not?
it has to go through the county.
It has to come to the county.
So I'm asking LaDon. I would like to make sure it's worded the way I think it should be worded. I mean, I didn't even see your request.
You questioned the opinion that was provided, and you directly challenged me on that.
I don't remember doing that.
Yeah, you did.
I remember
And
private conversation, but
well, you told me I was wrong, and I provided you with a copy of the document. You asked in a public meeting to have that opinion seconded, and we abided your request.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know what I'm talking about.
I asked to have it on the finance agenda, and Mr. Schultz.
You said you wanted
on,
a second opinion on the legal response we had from the state's attorney. The state's attorney said we could not proceed with the Scales Mound project because it did not concern county assets, and we're getting off the point here. But the parking ramp is going to be partially owned by the county. I think if you talk to almost anybody who comes over here, and I would disagree with the assertion there's not a customer parking problem. There is. Everybody at this table knows there is. So I understand your concerns, and I share many of them, but when we made the choice to go ahead with this building project, we knew there was a parking problem then. We consumed a number of the parking spots we had for construction. To say there is not a parking problem now is not dealing with the reality of the situation in front of us.
But what's the reality of how much it's going to cost us? When's enough? How many millions? That was my question. How many millions?
It's going to be bid, and it'll be approved through the process that all public infrastructure is. And if you're concerned about it running over, I think there's a significant difference between building a parking ramp and doing a building renovation of a 200-year-old building.
Same project.
It's
Ancillary.
essentially a green field from scratch project is much easier to budget than a 200-year-old renovation.
But how much?
John Schultz.
I understand your concern about the expense, Michael, but I remember when we broached the idea of renovating this building, you advocated for building a new courthouse, which would cost 50 million. Where was that money going to come from?
My email said that it should have been done by a vote by the people by a bond levy, which we chose, this board, I'm sorry, I wasn't on the board, chose not to do that because we all know it would have failed. All right, that's the fact. So the people should have chose to build it and should have had a choice to build it brand new or fix this one. And this board chose not to do that. So I'll stand by that email that I wrote.
Ladon.
Well, first of all, we're long past the debate on the courthouse. The courthouse is here.
Not if we're going to spend more money on it.
I don't care.
Okay.
It's long past done. We don't debate the courthouse anymore. The board that was here at that time voted to go forward with the courthouse. That's what we did. Now we got to be able to serve the customers that come here. And the parking lot will serve those customers. And having said that, I make a motion to move forward an intergovernmental agreement with the city of Galena for the purpose of building a parking ramp located at the address commonly known as 311 North Bench Street.
I will gladly second that.
Any further discussion? John Lang, you got?
Yeah, the one thing I would like to have clarified is on the upper level during the day. I mean, how are we going to handle? I don't want to have the employees or the people coming here having to pay $5 or $10 or whatever they're charging around town for parking.
John, they won't pay. How we're going to handle not paying, but like I said, there's a couple different schools of thought. I don't personally think we can legally make people pay for parking when they're coming to the courthouse. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but
Nor should we.
or should we? Yeah. Right. And so, like I said, that was just an across the board. The intergovernmental agreement had already been written by the time that I brought it up to the attorney. But whether or not we actually charge, that's going to be our choice.
Well, some way, I would like to see that clarified. Some way, somehow.
I mean, the agreement.
Well, I think there's a number of items in this agreement that need to be clarified, and this is not a contract. This is not a affirmation of moving a project ahead. This is a intergovernmental agreement for
pursuant of an idea.
This is exploring the idea, and yes, that is valid. Nobody wants to make the public pay to come and pay their taxes or go to court or come to a meeting here. So those are all valid concerns, and those are items that need to be addressed. This will also be a revenue generator to a degree
over the weekends, yeah,
on the weekends and weeknights. How much? I'm not a parking lot expert, so I'm not going to hazard a guess. I would suspect that it would be fairly reasonable sum. You've 52 weekends, 30 spots. People that come don't stay all day. They'll turn those parking spots over the course of the weekend. So, Logan, you have a question or a thought?
I just wanted to say, as a younger guy on the board, I also share some of the concerns of, how much this is going to cost. I understand the courthouse needs parking. But yeah, I understand projects can balloon in cost. So my concern is, to the rest of the county, will they see it as a necessary asset? I know the people who work here every day and the people who are here every day see it, but not everybody comes to the courthouse every day. We have 22,000 people in the county. Will they see the dollar sign and say, why did we do that? Those are my concerns.
Okay.
I think when they come over here and got a parking place, they'll be glad to see
Less
it.
unhappy.
But Ladon, I lived here for 6 years and I've only come to the courthouse in the last year and a half. So for 5 of those years, I never had to come here and I didn't care whatsoever if there was parking. How many people in the county experience that with everything online?
I think you need to see it from
Michael.
Yeah, sorry, I respectfully disagree with Don that the courthouse issue is over. I remember a really unpopular thing that the Galena School District did with tennis courts, and it hurt them on their first 4 referendums because the people remembered it for over 10 years. This is going to look like nothing more than a continuation of the courthouse project because of poor planning. So it's just more money. So I respectfully disagree with you. Sorry.
John Schultz.
I believe the point LaDon was making was this renovation is done. So rehashing that is totally worthless. So let's move on to the next phase. Even though the parking ramp is part of this process, we're onto that phase. To hell with what happened here before. It's done.
I asked to call the question.
Thank you. We have a motion made and seconded. Those in favor of the intergovernmental agreement with the city of Galena for the purpose of building a parking ramp located at the address commonly known as 311 North Bench Street, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Item D, discussion and possible action to recommend an ordinance amending Title 5, Chapter 12 of the Joe Davis County Code of Ordinances to prohibit dogs on the county property and to regulate animal waste. I had to laugh when Angie called me about this, I don't know, about 10 days ago. And I said, is this like a Monday morning joke? No, it's not. I looked. There are dead spots in our nice new turf where people have left us gifts, and we are currently unable to ticket or do anything about it. So
Do you want me just to
go ahead.
And please know that this isn't, we're not saying that dogs can't be on the lawn. This is giving us the ability to enforce a fine for those who abuse that privilege. I have dogs. Most of us probably have dogs. Dogs need to use the bathroom. So we all understand that. However, it has become all of a sudden a really difficult situation. I don't know if our front lawn was in such bad shape in the past that we didn't notice it, or that I don't know, but it has become an issue. And I'll also mention that this, again, is a tool to try to keep animal waste off county property. Keeping in mind, of course, that we also do operate animal control. So on some of our property, we would have our animal control officer with animals, and that obviously isn't going to be applicable. But
Well, I will make a motion to adopt an ordinance amending Title 5, Chapter 12 of the Joe Davis County Code of Ordinances to prohibit dogs on county property and to regulate animal waste.
I'll second it.
We have motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. I think this is our guest. Excuse me just a moment. Hello? Okay. It's 330 Bench Street. When you cross the bridge, it would have been a left. No, it would have been right. And you go through downtown. Bench Street is the first street to the west of
Main Street.
Main Street. You're at Franklin, and if you're at Franklin and Bench, you're like 100 yards away. Oh. From Main, what's the street north of the courthouse here?
Bench.
Meeker.
Meeker.
North of the
Hillier?
courthouse is Meeker.
Wait, go on Main Street, go north till you get to Meeker. You'll go left there on Meeker.
Something looks like a courthouse.
The deputy may no longer be on the door, so they may have to
Yes.
come in.
For some interesting minutes.
And the next corner you come to is going to be Meeker. You're going to go 1 block west and you'll see the courthouse. And courthouse is at the top of the hill. You're gonna drive right into it. Not really a curve there. It's 1 block from Main Street.
North.
Can you send his your location to him?
My wife headed over to Dubuque today and she said the intersection out there, 35 and 11,
It's a
It was so bad.
it's a
Go grocery shop.
big stone and brick building.
There's not many of them.
Got no window.
Oh, they got a.
Yeah.
Because going through there.
Well, they put up temporary stoplights?
Yeah.
Okay. But I don't get out much.
We don't do. That was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Time we have to wait for him to find us.
Be separated from our patients.
Okay, so they put in temporary.
All right,
lights.
we'll we're up here on the 3rd floor, so when you get a parking spot, we'll be here.
Only one that will open.
Yeah, the entrance is on the south side of the building.
Is there still someone on security? To let him in?
He's right there.
Yes, he should.
Yep, there he is.
Let him in, Scotty.
I've never seen anybody there when I leave.
He's usually there when we leave.
Tell him where to go.
All right, well, we'll see you in a couple minutes. Thank you. All right, she is parking her car and she will be with us briefly.
You want to move to the my reports and get that out of the way?
Yes, let's do that.
Um, just that I provided the last 2 months of reports. I don't know if anyone had any questions regarding those. They're pretty similar month to month for the most part.
Lots of good detail.
It almost sounds like you were busy. John.
Yes, Lynn.
I don't have any questions, but I want to commend you because every Friday, I don't know if anybody else reads their emails, but Angie recognizes an employee every week for different
Every month.
every month, sorry, for different things that they do, either, making this a welcoming building or going over and above. And I just want to thank you for doing that. I think that helps to build morale. I think people like being appreciated. And most people don't come to work just for the pay. They come for the camaraderie and recognition. So thank you for doing that.
You're welcome. It's easy to do. We've got a really great group. We really do. It's been hard sometimes, some months to choose one.
Angie, can I be included in those emails? I don't think I get them.
I blind copy the county board on them for it's the workplace positivity spotlight.
Yeah.
Sure.
Maybe it goes to your junk file.
Maybe it's in.
Okay,
junk. I'll take a look. I don't think I've gotten those.
I'll make sure that if you're not on the group, I'll talk to Joe about it as well. I think the allure is the parking spot. Winner each month gets a reserved parking spot.
John?
Yes.
This might be a good time for me to give a little announcement for an event that occurs in September. The Blackhawk Hills Resource Council will have a display at the Galena Library. If you remember, we had that housing competition around designers and architects, and that display has been moving around to different parts of the 6-county area. So in September, it will be at the Galena Library for about a month.
Thank you.
You didn't mention in your report that we were up to step 5 of our 13-step process.
No. Well, is it 5 or 4?
We're done with 4, and 5 starts on the July 13th week.
I'm probably going to start it early. I always get
We got an excuse for finishing late.
Yeah. They're not here. They're not here yet. I don't know what you want to do.
If security isn't done it, they can't get in, can they?
That was a security.
He's down there.
Okay.
He is down there.
We want to do a closed session
We have to have everybody.
now. Okay.
I hear the elevator.
I don't think they're here.
She said she was in the parking lot.
Maybe she's in Galena, Kansas. Maybe she's in Galena, Kansas, or Galena, Alaska.
Mm.
I think this is the one. June 26th.
Or the county seat of
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get those.
Stone County, Missouri.
I just
In Galena.
whole inbox. I don't get any of that.
An interesting point. And that's where that's where I pay my property taxes.
Minute though they are.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Submarine's back.
Hello. Okay. We will see you in a couple minutes. Thank you.
I think that's from the.
She's walking in. No. Never thought it was that hard to find.
I reached out to him and he said that he's still waiting for the forms to come back. He said once he has them, it'll be 2 weeks to install. So 2 weeks and they'll be ready to install. But he's ready to forms and whatever. And that's been taking a while.
We still have a lot of stuff stored down in Hanover that had been in this courthouse at one point.
Oh, yeah. Although I think as months go by and we continue to live without it, that it's stuff that's probably, I know that a lot of it is boxes, things that are, you know, on the shredding docket. So, there's some books down there that are never going to come back. At some point we're going to have to go in and sweep through and
I did voice when we were getting ready to move there that people need to look carefully at what they were sending, that it was something they wanted back at some point. And if not, make some arrangements for it to disappear.
Right.
Can't some of that, or all of that stuff actually be whatever we put it on today, the computer way?
Well, the books that are down there have been scanned. So they are already scanned, but we have to keep the physical book.
You do?
Mm-hmm. So, most of them are circuit clerk files, but there are some recorder books down there as well. And then again, there's old tax books down there. But the lion's share is just boxes of things that we had to pull out of storage that were upstairs that were just waiting for their 3 or 7 year mark to be able to shred. So
I was looking at a case.
She would be.
We're going through
Lives
the
up there.
boxes that were up on the third floor.
So
The case we have from 1973.
Look at the map.
oh,
I mean, if you
They,
have any subcommittee.
it happened at
There's no fun.
okay.
They got a monitor in your bed and they got a monitor in your chair. If
I've never met her.
the alarm goes off, you can't move.
It was kind of interesting reading some of it. It brought back some memories.
Because
If you want to go to the bathroom, there's somebody that goes in there with.
Interesting.
I'm so glad to be out of Mercy One.
Is it? Is this time?
They did it. They took me down to surgery, and then they put you out, and then they put a scope down your. You know, you got an ulcer or something.
After they said they're gonna know.
Sore throat afterwards.
Proximity to Chicago.
Really?
Project, yeah.
It wasn't bad.
Southern Illinois is like a completely different.
You can come right on up.
The worst part is just being in that place.
Feeling very much the country bumpkin right now.
Loretta's come a very long way to make her presentation here today. I think she started out in Effingham. Is that correct?
Newton.
Newton.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I'm not even sure where that is.
Okay, it's one county west of Indiana. And one county, there's one county between Jasper County and Indiana.
So as far from here as you can get.
Almost.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
5.5 hours if you don't get lost, have road construction, or have detours.
All right, maybe a brief introduction for yourself, and then you can talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Okay, well, I am Lorette Newland. This is not what I thought I would be doing when I grew up. My least favorite class in college was Speech 101. I always got sick before I had to do one, and here we are. But sometimes you have to rise to the need and put your discomfort aside. I spent time over the weekend listening to the lives of our founders of America, 56 of them. One of them rode through the night, through a storm, on horseback, when very sick. I think he had cancer. To cast a vote to declare independence from England. Is that close enough? Okay. So it's like, just do what you're uncomfortable with. And so here we are. Have you all had an opportunity to peruse the information that was provided for you already, especially the referendum and explanation, because that will save us a lot of time. I don't like to read to people if they've already read what I want to say. The inspiration for the referendum, for the state split movement, ours anyway, was violation of constitutional rights. Particularly, our founder noticed a growing number of Illinois laws breaking the Second Amendment. They've also broken Article 4, Section 4 of the Constitution. We have Chicago-centric laws. And since 2020, we've had between 50 and 60 new or increased taxes or fees. That's a lot. Our aspiration is to form a new state without Chicago and Cook County, with as many other Illinois counties as the people demonstrate at the ballot box in response to different referendums. And we anticipate there will be a need for multiple ones, just like in West Virginia and Maine. Maine actually had 6. Our description of us is we are a grassroots movement in which all serve at our own expense, which is not tax deductible. And we seek to form a new state from within Illinois as provided by Article 4, Section 3 of the U.S. Constitution, using a process similar to Maine, to separate from Massachusetts. And we have people that will start reading the Constitution, Article 4, Section 3, and they'll get to the part where it says, no new state shall be formed from within a state, and they don't keep reading. The rest of the passage tells what two things are required. So if you run into somebody who says, that's not constitutional, you can't do that, yes, we can. Keep reading. Clarification. And some of this is repetitious, but we've run into county boards where a board member would have voted yes, but he didn't understand certain things. So a little bit of repetition is maybe not a bad thing. So clarification, the 4 nots. Number 1, we do not have any plan to join Indiana or any other state. And I know that's been big in the news and they have misleading headlines, but that's not the plan. I'm not particularly against it for where I live, but if they took me out, then we'd have to find another leader for this. And it would be just really demoralizing for the counties that would be left behind to start all over. Secondly, this referendum in November, if you choose to vote on it, is not a vote to separate from Cook County. And that was one of the things that a board member misunderstood. This does not make it happen. It's a vote to look into the possibility. Thirdly, this is not the work of another organization called New Illinois. We're often conflated with this other state split group, largely because of media error, and our name doesn't really make it sound like we are distinctly different. Originally, before this, our name was Illinois Separation. And when you Googled or did a Facebook search, you got divorce recommendations. So I made a little change there. We started, well, they started in 2018. We started in 2016. They are a 501c4. We are not. That mattered to some county board members in Coles County. They started with the belief that 101 counties plus parts of Cook will want to be part of a new state and are currently working on a constitution. And what I've heard of it, it's spectacular. But we started with the belief that we should ask the people if they're interested in a new state. And currently, we are still working on that step. And you tonight are part of that. Our plan is the new constitution would be written with the input of those counties who vote for moving forward to present a statehood bill to the legislature and Congress. Now, the leaders between New Illinois and us have developed a good relationship. In fact, I talked to GH on the way here. She was excited about tonight for me and you. And we are supportive of each other and our respective organizations, but the organizations are separate. And while, as she says, we don't agree on every detail, we have the same goal of creating a new state. And finally, it's not about separating from America, as some people have made comments in the public comments before the vote. We're not separating from America, but forming a new state from an existing one, just as 4 other states have done. And you've got the resource that has those listed and their reasons for separating. And the type of resolution, and this is like #1 priority for you to really hear this. It is a non-binding advisory public policy question. It doesn't make it happen. And this board member, he said, I would have voted for it if I had known that. And I'm like, oh, I don't know what we need to do to make it more clear, because we had it in print. Both ladies who presented it spoke it and had it in print. So just really hear the vote in November in no way makes a separation happen anywhere. It just makes it clear whether or not the people in Joe Daviess County want you to look into it. Okay, and I'm going to say maybe one more thing. Why involve the county boards? Typically, states divided along county lines for convenience. Our founder wanted a return to some more local control. And I'm sure you can think of some issues going on in our state that could use some more local control. We kind of feel like we're at the mercy of the state right now, where I'm at. Doing the referendum by county and involving the board makes sense because you are more accessible to the people and know the local financial situation best. Our state reps and senators, they're less accessible, and our state is less financially transparent. If you're familiar with the work of Mr. Anjeski with openthebooks.com or .org, whichever it is, he says that Illinois is one of the least transparent states in the union, and particularly Chicago. And he lived in Chicago. Now, while the Constitution doesn't say anything about using county boards, it isn't prohibited. And where the US Constitution is silent, states have freedom. So we can talk about affording, we can talk about additional steps. The most important thing for you to know is it's non-binding and it's better than an opinion poll, because unlike an opinion poll, everyone who's a registered voter has equal opportunity to answer the question. That's not true in a poll. So I thank you for your consideration. I'll take questions and I may have some wrap-up things.
I will start here. I see in your material, you've got like 700 plus signatures from Joe Daviess County. Is that correct, or how's that number?
Needed. It would be required if you guys vote no, it's too late to get 700 and some signatures at this point. Wouldn't you agree? So we would just start in the fall, in November after the election, to try to get all those signatures, which in 2019, things were different. 2020 was kind of a dividing line.
And you've got 31 approved so far, counties?
33 counties have already voted, and the average approval was 74%. And then so far, I think we've got 9 counties scheduled to be on the ballot in November so far.
How many?
9.
9 this fall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. Anybody have any questions? John Schultz?
As I understand, there is a mechanism for separating from an existing state, but there isn't a mechanism for, as some of the counties along the border of Indiana wanted to be annexed. So there's no provision for doing that, correct?
There is in the Constitution, also Article 4, Section 3. Our referendum doesn't say anything about that. And the state of Illinois requires that our referendum be answerable clearly by yes or no. Our founder wanted to change the wording to be, or join another state. And I said, Colin, we can't do that. I've read through the Illinois election code, and it has to be single issue, and we have to answer it by yes or no. And I did have that confirmed by an election attorney. That could be a separate referendum.
I do have another point. In your goals, number 8, it says fix the state's eminent domain. Imminent means it's about to happen. It should be eminent domain.
Sorry.
I'm a nitpicker.
No, it's okay. I actually had somebody else write that. That was one of the things down in, begins with the C, Calhoun, and he came up with that, and I didn't do a very good job proof reading, so thank you. I'll fix that. Did that answer your question about joining another state?
Yes.
We got that with, we got to be, both GH and I got to be part of the Indiana, Illinois Boundary Adjustment Commission's first meeting. We did it by remote. And one of the things that I said was, we've got 3 different groups of people within our organization. People who would be happy to join Indiana, people who their response was, that is not what we voted for. And they were very adamant about that. And then there was a third group, and I kind of fall into that group. We don't really care which way it goes as long as Cook County is not part of our state, whichever that is. So I said, you've based your commission off of a referendum that doesn't say anything about Indiana. So you need to find out how many of those 74% would be interested in joining Indiana, because that's a separate question. And I don't have the energy to do another referendum. This one all gives me, I can handle.
In the section where it's talking about your referendum, is the verbiage you have at the top of that page what you would like us to adopt if we adopt something tonight?
Yes. Yes. That's.
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
So let's just say this were to go on, and let's just say that this would actually happen. And you're saying that counties don't join with other states, so they become essentially their own state. How do you propose that these states replace their intergovernmental revenue that they take from the state of Illinois?
That gets into the Paul Simon review. Probably. Are you familiar with this colorful map? You may have seen one that's got darker colors. And what they claim is that for every dollar that an area contributes in tax money, they get so much back from the state. Is that what you're referring to?
It's part of it, yes.
Okay.
Agreements in general.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Say that again.
But you're talking about intergovernmental agreements in general with revenue from the state to like counties or
Correct.
townships.
It would be our share of sales tax, our share of local use tax. And granted, I just can't imagine a county of 22,000 being able to operate, collect tax, keep tax, and in the interim be able to continue to function. The majority of our revenue comes from intergovernmental revenue.
Would it help you to know that when Maine separated from Massachusetts, it was a 10-year process?
Interesting.
It was also 150 years ago too, though.
It was also well, longer than that, because Maine was before.
West Virginia was 163, and that was the last one. So it's longer than that, Mike.
Yes, longer ago. Yeah.
Until 1917, when the income tax was adopted, the federal government operated almost exclusively on tariff. It was a revenue source.
Well, the question that Angie posed, that's what I was thinking, because the regions of Illinois are so different. And Southern Illinois' finances are considerably lower, and so their support really is needed from the state. I mean, if you look across the board, we all have different assets, and they just don't fall into that same category.
Okay, so I seem to have left the notebook that had a lovely list of that in. Parallel parking is something I'm really pretty good at, but I was all frantic. Okay, so if we were to separate, immediately we have $6 million that we, as the state of Illinois, used to spend on senators and state representatives on their salaries in Cook County. That doesn't include pensions, that doesn't include insurance, that doesn't include their mileage, their per diem, or any committees they're getting paid to be a part of. So over $6 million is now off the table. We don't have to deal with that. That's entirely Cook County. Thanks to Chicago leading the way and Governor Rauner following in their footsteps, Illinois is a sanctuary state. Now, when I did a deep dive into that, in 2019, I think, maybe 2020, somewhere around in there, 2021. This one place, and I can't remember the website, but 3.8 billion with a B per year is what we were spending on people who were not here through Ellis Island, to put it kindly. They slipped in under the wire. That included like housing, food, education, if they get in trouble with the law, that process. There were like 8 categories, 3.8 billion. So if as a state, we decided as a new state not to be welcoming of immigrants, but immigrants who come here legally, we could eliminate a lot of that expense. Benjamin Franklin said, "A penny saved is a penny earned." I like that. Anyway, that's 2 categories. Here's another. This map has got little red dots all over it. Those are where we have Illinois prisons, correctional facility, work camps, or anything related to the Department of Corrections.
Okay, anyone else have any questions? I think we've about 20 minutes here.
I do have one point.
John.
$6 million is a significant amount of money, but considering the state's budget is 60 billion, that's only 0.1 thousandths of it.
The prisons, I did a deep dive on that. It is $500 million per year that we're spending on Cook County inmates. They don't have room in Chicago. They got to, in Cook County, they got to put them someplace.
And we can't afford to own the prisons we make, so we sell them to the federal government, like Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
To figure, I go back to our founding fathers. They did not have everything figured out when they decided that they wanted to be free. And this vote is to look into those questions that you're asking.
So that we can bring this to an end right now, I move we adopt the proposal that you have here. Shall the board of Daviess County correspond with the boards of other counties of Illinois outside of Cook County about the possibility of separating from Cook County to form a new state and to seek admission to the union as such, subject to the approval of the people?
Point of order. That's not on the agenda. The agenda is just a presentation.
Okay, all right. I withdraw it.
Okay, well, I guess
Trying to bring this to a close.
we can, if you want to, we can discuss it at full board, I guess. If
I wouldn't have any problem with that.
okay.
Just keeping in mind that they may not have enough time to have a petition circulated, but if we're talking about democracy, that's probably the way they ought to go. They probably ought to have the people of Daviess County sign a petition to put it on instead of having 17 people decide to put it on.
17 people can decide to put it on and everybody can vote. That was one of the things that came up.
I don't know if I agree with you, Angie, on that. I'm not saying I'm for this or against this, but I did ask, I think I asked a month or 2 ago what the cost of putting it on the ballot is, and the cost was nothing. If it's non-binding, I think if the 17 board members think this is what's best for their constituents to ask this in a non-binding way, totally fine with it. So.
Well,
but if it's going to go on the main agenda, LaDonna has put it on since it's not passing this board. So
I guess seeing as how we are not an auction item, which is my oversight, we will take this to a full board, week and a day. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you making the trek all the way up here. And
thanks for your.
Yep. Okay, I believe we have a closed session.
Do you want?
We have anything else? We
got 40 closed session minutes for you guys to review. So I don't know if you want to do committee member concerns and citizens comments first before, because that's going to take maybe a little bit of time.
Okay. Um, I think we'll skip ahead and do committee member concerns. Is there anything you feel the need to share at the moment? Start with Diane.
Just want to remind you that the Galena Library is going to host an exhibit of the housing plans.
Logan.
I have no concerns.
I have nothing. Don.
I'm good.
John.
Same here.
No.
Lynn?
Nothing.
Okay.
Citizens comments too. Citizens comments, yeah.
Okay. We can do, we do have a closed session coming up, but before we do that, we will do citizen comments. Anybody feel?
Good evening. Hello, my name is James Asta. I am a resident of Galena in Joe Davis County. Wow, I have a lot of prepared words here, but I don't think I'm going to use them. It was about this separation secession idea. After hearing how poorly prepared this presentation was tonight, and how divided this group is who supports this secession into at least 3 groups, one of which doesn't care what kind of statehood we go into, whether it's join another state or form our own. It's just running away from problems or something we don't like with government. And I heard very little about a plan, nothing concrete. There's nothing unified here. And there's absolutely nothing unifying about this idea. It's strictly dividing. It's divisive. In a time when we've got a whole ton of that going on in our country, we need to stick together. We need to work with what we have and not abandon everything the state has built over so long with no plans to replace our elections. How do we handle that? We're going to start a brand new state. Who's going to decide how these elections happen? How about the rest of the state government? Let's talk about going to get a driver's license, going to your Secretary of State's office. Well, all those are gone because the Secretary of State came in and took all their equipment, all their office furniture, their desks, their chairs. Okay, let's start all over. Let's do this. Let's build a whole new IT infrastructure for the state. Let's do that. Let's hire a bunch of people to build this from the ground up. New equipment, new software, new experience and know-how. Sounds like a solid plan to me. How about our healthcare system and our hospitals? Rural hospitals are already struggling in this state. So are we going to take away what we have already, where Cook County and the wealthy counties and hospitals there kick in tax money that's matched by federal money and then redistributed to the rural hospitals? Are we going to take that away too? Oh, but how about all the people that'll be flocking to this new state to deal with all these problems? They're going to just dive in, right? They're going to jump in, and I'm sure no one's going to leave and want to go to a more stable state, right? So, but you slash all these taxes. How are we going to pay for all this new infrastructure you got to rebuild? How about the Illinois State Police? Going to create a whole new police infrastructure? Lose all this experience? This is absolutely ridiculous. For our county to put this on a ballot is to validate this stupid ass idea. Okay? This is part of the enshittification of America. It's an economic term, look it up. But this is a prime example of that. Taking an absolutely ridiculous idea, putting it forth, and just saying, hey, we could do this. Let's put this on the ballot and take it to the people. Well, doing irresponsible shit like this is absolutely stupid. It's embarrassing. And I don't think any one of you wants to put your name behind something so poorly thought out and absolutely ridiculous. No plan. None. This is absurd. Validating it by putting it on our ballot, by putting it to the people, is absolutely stupid. Do not do this. Do not hang this on our county. Thank you.
Gerald Pedraza, Apple River. 2 items. One, I want to make reference to a comment that Mr. Michael Dittmar made regarding rural economic development. We're hemorrhaging tax money here. People are spending money in Monroe, Darlington, Platteville, Dubuque, Freeport, maybe Clinton, Iowa. We need rural economic development here, as per Michael Dittmar. 2, this idea about seceding from the state of Illinois. I honor the lady that came up here from Newton County, and I like how she expressed her thoughts. She took responsibility for being a citizen. Outstanding. Now I want to make a couple comments about some of the thoughts she shared. 1, she indicated, I think, that there were 31 counties that passed this, that they were going to put a resolution on the November ballot. I think she said 31. I can't imagine the collar counties around Chicago going for this deal. DuPage, Lake County, Kankakee County. 2, what about the mid-sized metropolitan areas in the state of Illinois? Peoria, Rock Island, Rockford. People in those communities are not going to go for this. What about the communities that have universities? I lived in Southern Illinois in Carbondale for 2 years, went to graduate school there. I can't imagine the university communities, Eastern Illinois, Western Illinois, other university communities going for this. And there's a lot of registered voters in those communities. So this might seem like on the surface an idea to be explored, but at the same time, one last point. The gentleman who made a comment here, one of his points of view I want to emphasize, and that is this. What's the message that you are sending to the registered voters in Joe Daviess County, if in fact you put this on the ballot in November? What is the message you want to send people? That's the real question here. Thank you.
You've got somebody online, Bernie Biangini.
Yep, it's Biagini. Very good.
Okay.
As the lady went through the presentation, my thought process was, if I'm a voter, I need to see some data that says, what's this going to look like? That's missing. Southern Illinois University did a study on whether or not there was any balance between Chicago and the rest of the state. And the conclusion was that splitting away would not be economically advantageous to the rest of the state. Now, I haven't read that thing line item by line item to tell you whether I agree with all of the data, but right now it's the best thing that we've got. Second, as a voter, particularly in the local races, it's hard enough to go out there and to do homework so you can make an educated decision in that ballot box. We don't need this to add on to that. Thank you for the time.
Any other public comment? Hearing none, I am going to entertain a motion to go into closed session.
I will make a motion to enter closed session for section 2C21, discussion of minutes of meetings lawfully closed under the act, whether for purpose of approval by the body of the minutes or semi-annual review for the minutes as mandated by section 2.06. The topic of discussion is the review of closed session minutes.
Have a second?
Oh, seconded.
Those in favor of entering closed session? No, do a roll call.
Allendorf.
Aye.
Creighton.
Yes.
Diane Gallagher.
Aye.
Lynn Gallagher.
Aye.
Grisafi. Holt. Schultz.
Aye.
Lang.
Aye.
Trost.
Aye.
Motion passes. So go ahead.
Do we need a roll call to come out or just?
You do. You need a motion in a second and a roll.
I move to come out of closed session.
Have a second?
I'll second.
John Lang, we have voice or a roll call, please.
Allendorf,
Aye.
Creighton,
Yes.
Diane Gallagher,
Yes.
Lynn Gallagher,
Aye.
Grazoffy, Holt, Lang,
Aye.
Schultz,
Aye.
Trost.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, bear with me. I will make a motion to open the executive minutes from from the following meetings. 10/3/02, 3/31/03, 6/30/03, 11/14/05, 10/02/06, 11/05/07, 12/03/07, 6/1/15, 11/30/15, 2/7/17, 6/6/17, 9/5/23, 2/3/25, 3/3/25, 5/5/25, 6/2/25, 7/1/25. And that the minutes of the following executive sessions remain closed. 5/5/14, 3/2/15, 2/29/16, 5/1/18, and 8/4/25.
I will second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes.
All right, I will make a motion to open the following county board minutes. 6/8/04, 8/10/04, 9/14/04, 12/14/04, 8/12/08, 10/14/08, 1/13/09, 8/12/14, 8/19/14, 9/9/14, 10/14/14, and that the following minutes remain closed. 7/13/04, 10/12/04, 1/11/05, 11/27/07, 4/7/08, 6/14/11, 10/11/11.
I will second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion made and seconded. Any thoughts or discussions? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Any other business? I am going to take the moment to apologize. I trying to avoid having a large crowd of public speakers rambling. I decided that this was going to be the expedient course, and that was probably the worst public presentation I've ever sat through. For somebody who drove that far to be here, she had not practiced that. And I'm actually sympathetic. I mean, I have no problem making a protest vote, but my God, that was awful. So I apologize.
I don't think you need to apologize for trying to expedite.
Michael.
And you're right, her presentation reeketh at best.
I agree with John. You did the absolute right thing. That it backfired had nothing to do with what your intentions were or how you did it. So,
all right. My mea culpa out of the way. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
And John, thank you. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion is passed. We're adjourned.
Time is 7:45.